Did you ever hold a gun?
You know, actually, I used to sleep with a gun under my pillow.
Sunny, welcome to Double Espresso Studios down here in Legian. So, just a really quick question. Your name's Dillinger. So, did you ever hold a gun?
I mean, you know, to be completely honest, yes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, the background story will if I may, you know, actually used to sleep with a gun under my pillow. Safety precautions.
So, where were you born?
I was born in San Diego. But, you know, when people think about San Diego, they think about the gas lamp and downtown and Coronado Bridge. I'm from a place called Southeast San Diego, which is to me like the Bermuda Triangle. So many people never seen it, know anything about it. But yeah, it's something that I'm honored to talk about now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you managed to get out of there?
It's a blessing, truly. I do feel, I feel very chosen, you know, and it was as if in my attempt to leave that there was so many things that wanted to keep me and hold me back. I think the biggest thing was family. So yeah, I managed to I don't want to say escape, but I managed to prevail, you know, kind of succeed in a way.
So, do you think you changed your vibration?
Absolutely. I think the process was inevitable. I think it was a matter of once I wanted different, I wanted better. There was a dire need. It was a cry as to feeling that I was destined to embark beyond my own environment and just explore the world. And I was willing to do whatever that took. And so one step at a time, it literally, I think I have to give reverence to life. Life pulled me out of the thresholds, you know, kind of pushed me forward. And whether I was ready or not, I think it was inevitable.
And where did that first step take you?
Los Angeles.
Wow.
Los Angeles. I had two brothers who were like my parents. They were like day and night that taught me music. Gave me some tools to be able to go fend for myself. And music was my initial dream to succeed in. So Los Angeles, of course, will be the place to, you know, kind of make my mark.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you know, we as this podcast is called Significant, did you meet somebody significant that changed the course of your life in LA?
Yeah, I met quite a bit of significant people that made me feel very prized about living, you know, from celebrities as one of my greatest honors to meet and actually work with was Andre 3000 from Outkast. And then also, and then I think that there will be one individual I speak of as a mentor. His name was Seychep, and he was the first person I met that mentored me, that gave me knowledge, you know, knowledge of myself. And that knowledge of myself is what kickstarted me to, can we curse?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I got to kick some ass, you know.
Right.
That's what I think is very important for me to represent in that way.
Did you kick your own ass?
Absolutely. Or I can't say I kicked my own ass because I didn't volunteer to kick my ass, but life definitely kicked my ass so that I can kick some ass.
Oh. So I remember you told me, because we had a lovely lunch down at Kempinski when we first met. You said that psychedelics had a big assistance into you moving out of the darker energy that you were carrying with you.
Yeah, it came a point in my journey, in my process, in my life that psychedelics as a catalyst, as a medicine. So I'm not promoting, you know, for me to, as I speak about this, for anyone to embark on a psychedelic usage, but it came to me, and it definitely was something that I want to say it was something that I was very cautious and very not so open to, but just philosophers and very successful people speaking about it, that it opened me up to saying yes, and definitely liberated a great deal of my mind and my heart. That now I think that plays a major part of me being just much more open, and also leaning into more courage. If that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. And then with that courage, you started traveling.
Yeah. I started traveling. Where I come from, most of us don't have a passport. Most of us never think that we have the opportunity to travel. There was a lot of people in my corner that just kept nudging on me. It was like, man, the world is waiting for you. You got the world out there. And so one day I just literally took the time and paid for my own passport, and made sure that once I got my passport, an opportunity came to me from a brother saying, time to go to Africa. And that was one of my life goals. So, first trip with my passport, we went to Africa.
Where did you choose?
I got to be able to facilitate a retreat with my brother, and we went to South Africa was the first stop, Johannesburg, and then Cape Town. Yeah.
And Mandela.
Yeah,
right.
Mandela.
Beautiful. And then once you'd taken that first trip, did you kind of get the traveling bug, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think once I took my first trip, that's when life really hit me about how real it was outside of my own bubble. About I guess it really, no matter where I came from, I just saw how privileged I was of just being an American. And then from there, I just kind of dug back into my heart about actually what we're really doing. No matter where I go, where I'm privileged to travel to, I just always feel like I'm looking to go further than anybody has ever gone, as to my family and also people that could possibly live through me. So I got the bug to actually just continue to explore more and continue to let life kind of use me to expand, if that makes sense.
And with that expansion, did you obviously travel to more places?
Yeah. I got to go to Japan, here, Indonesia in 2019. Where else? Dubai. And I think that would be it as of right now.
Right. So what kind of did Bali happen to you, or did you happen to Bali? What was that kind of exchange? Was it Bali calling you, or was it just one of those things that just kind of happened and then has now continued?
Well, yeah, Bali was calling me all the way from Los Angeles. I had friends who were telling me that you would love Bali. And because the way that I live my life, my beliefs and things, as soon as I got to Bali, I definitely felt like I harmonized with Bali. So Bali happened to me in a way that I think Bali knew that I would really appreciate. And then now I hope that I can happen to Bali in a way that is all bullshit aside. I share a lot of I think relating experiences, maybe not to the extreme as my sensitivity speaking about it, but I grew up adopted, and grew up I wouldn't say as fortunate, and so just the ins and outs, the ups and downs, I can see them. And I don't claim to be a tourist, I just claim to be a walking human. So I always want to be able to relate with all walks of life. And I think that's even just it in general. My traveling, my being here in Bali right now is just, it's not about just being on one side. It's about feeling both. So that's why I hope that as Bali happens to me, I can contribute like in and out.
Beautiful. So you mentioned one thing, I think it was at your birthday party, about survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Could you just expand on that a bit?
Well, yeah, I definitely have I guess an idea of survivor's guilt. I can't say for surely to the extreme of some of the others, but like I said, once again, I feel like I'm the only one from my family that has made it this far, the only one that has ever made the choices. As I speak about psychedelics, definitely had a lot of people, in my process of what I was going through, tell me that it's not the right thing to do or wrong way to go. And now, wherever I go, I find myself to be the only one, you know. So where I continue to progress or succeed, I find that then not many people where I come from are where I'm at today, you know. So I always find myself, you know, in a place where the food is nice, the water is clean, or those type of things, and then I find myself kind of stepping out of the party and just looking around and just be like, wow, you know, it gets a bit somewhat lonely and a little bit, it's a twofold. I feel responsible, but I also feel discouraged. So, you know, happy in one moment, very sad the next.
But you do have your own tribe with you, I imagine. I mean, there are a few of you that have landed on Bali, hugely talented, and who I was very lucky to meet at your birthday.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. Well, that's a beautiful thing. I mean to cut it, but that's a beautiful thing about life, you know, is that, you know, not all the time you're gonna have a whole army rallying with you. You might have like 3 or 4, and that's one thing I really appreciate, that there are a handful of individuals in my life that, you know, are exactly what I need, you know. And when I say what I need is that, you know, I talk about this concept of everybody gravitating towards the butterfly and wanting to be the butterfly all the time. But I like meeting more caterpillars and people who could represent what it takes to be that caterpillar, so that we can also share, you know, what it feels like to be a butterfly, you know. So yeah, representation is really important, and the people I surround myself with are immaculate beings. So yeah.
And your art, SunCodes, is that? Tell me about SunCodes. I've never heard about those.
Yeah, SunCode. It's an art style that, through meditation, came through as a therapy or a therapeutic expression. It's calligraphy based, inspired by a great brother, and actually a couple people, but one person who helped me with this art form. His name is Amir Magal. He has a company called Tribal Markers that I used to, and still am connected to, but definitely inspired and stemmed my art. So SunCodes is a form of art that I would say is the energy of the sun in a code. Yeah, something like that.
Beautiful, by the way. Absolutely stunning. So more of a transmission, I suppose, was it?
Absolutely, because it's not something that I'm like structured so much with. It's just something that it's kind of like dancing. I try not to think, and I just allow the pen to show me what we're capable of. So it's fun. And then from when I started to now where I'm at today, I've gotten quite a bit of the compliments that have kind of inspired me to believe that I can actually become an artist. So
right. I believe you can too. So, yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
So tell music's obviously still very important, or in your life. So tell us a bit more about that. The music, and are you creating here in Bali, or?
Well, yeah, from LA, when I started doing music, I took it very seriously back then. Being that, I don't know, LA can, you know, sometimes business in the form of your art, you know, definitely can discourage you. So my why got so lost about what I was doing with music, so I took some steps back. Since then, I've come to Bali, and I've shared a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and had quite a bit of friends or people hear me and was like, yo, can I get you to do a song or these things? And so now I feel like I'm out of the cave and actually having quite a bit of fun with expressing. And so that's the beautiful thing about Bali too, right? Is that you come here and then you get the space to actually create and get to feel what that feels like from a perspective, you know. So now that I have all this space to create, it's not so much suffocated by business, and I just get to just live in the why, and that means a lot to me, you know. I wish that it was just the case for like everybody in that way, but of course, you know, business isn't such a negative thing. I just want business to work for me, you know, and not my hands tied for anybody else.
Right, yeah. Right. Freedom within your own creativity.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Because I think that's very important, that you're allowed to be as creative as you want to be. Mm-hmm. Responsible to your own business. Right. And what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to? What are your plans in the next, I don't know, 3 to 6 months?
Well, I'm excited to be here with you right now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to continue
Thank you.
to develop our relationship as to just seeing what life can present. Um, I just want to continue to represent for myself, um, for my people back home, and for anybody else who I can inspire. And like I said, my goal is to just kick some ass. I wanna kick some ass in a way that, like, I know there's a lot of people rooting for me, and if they're rooting for me, then they're rooting for an idea, but I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what's to happen. But
that's the exciting part, right? I mean, that is the exciting part. So it is much more about focusing your attention on what you do want and where you want to see yourselves. And if you can get all the people that you're with on that same vibrational vision, then that vision just suddenly pops.
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely about being in the moment.
Yeah.
This is improv at its finest. It's like, to just really be in the moment, to see, all right, you ask me a question and just go.
Right. It's better to be careful of those questions, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about courage, right? Courage is hugely important to you, and I think probably from my standpoint, courage has always been very different from your courage. Mine has probably been just a daily scared to do one thing or the other. Maybe it's a sport thing, or on a more menial kind of lesser level than courage that you might have needed to have.
Well, yeah. Well, first off, thank you for that sensitivity. A lot of people, I think, wouldn't acknowledge that. The courage for me was something like a muscle that needed to develop, and still is. I say a lot. But no, the courage thing is, I think you get an opportunity to grow, and once again, there's another side of everything that I don't know. Where I grow with courage is in discomfort. So whenever there's an opportunity to grow based upon leaving comfort and leaning into discomfort, it strengthens my courage. And if I can become more courageous, then I think that's where experience, I get to speak about something, and to me that's very important, because I find myself speaking to people, and then there's a lack of self-courage or self-confidence, and it's just based upon a lack of experience of facing something that can kind of be the catalyst to that. And I don't know how to really help in those ways. I just know that, like, every time I felt like something just pushed me into it, and it's kind of like right now,
discomfort,
I wouldn't say, like,
right?
This isn't my strongest suit, but I was just like, just put me in the seat and let's see what happens. And
cool.
And definitely there's jitters, there's nerves and things, but I rely on something else as life to see it through, and it's always short-lived, so the discomfort doesn't last long. Then you look back at it and you see how many pillars of discomfort that you've conquered, and then you're like, oh, I got this.
And you say experience, right? So that gives you to the next level.
Yeah.
Totally.
So.
And relationships and love. How do you stand with that?
And once
again,
you're
quite a free person, right? You're quite a free spirit.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm no expert, but it's very important to learn through these experiences and these processes, and I give thanks to the people who I've been able to learn from through relationships, through commitments, and I talk about it, right, about loving yourself so much that you learn yourself so much to be able to provide leverage with someone else, because I think desperation, sometimes the absence of another person outside of ourselves can have us commit to something too soon, or even settle. I've found myself doing that a lot in the past, and also compromising, to someone else's, acclimating to someone else's life that 2% was too much. If I gave 2% out of my 100 and I became 98, that was too much, you know. But once I was able to let someone go and I got my 2% back, that's where I felt like I can be present for them. So my formula is that first and foremost, my relationship with myself, that's the one I have with life. After that goes my relationship with life as the mission, the work that I have to do for myself. And then after that, I think we can create some leverage and some time for somebody else to share whatever, you know, would be conducive for us both in a valuable, inspirational way.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. And lastly, just a business, BlackKidsTravel.
Yes.
That's one of yours?
Yeah.
I think that's such a great thing. And you know, I thought back in the day it was the pink dollar, right? And homosexuals having to travel and knowing where it was good for them to travel and fun for them to travel and things like that. So is that kind of the basis that you...
Well, I've never heard of a pink dollar, to be
Oh,
honest.
right.
That's new for me. I appreciate learning something new. Well, BlackKidsTravel is my team, you know, me and my team. And the founder and co-founder is Owen Daniels, and then also Akil Wade. They go by different names these days. Owen is billionaire,
All right.
and then Akil is Wolf. But no, yeah. So I met these two in Los Angeles, and when I met them in Los Angeles, I immediately I loved what they were up to. I loved what they were doing, and it was very unapologetic, and it was very innovative. And so when I started to harmonize with them, I love their mission and their why so much. I said, hey, I want to be a part of this. And then, you know, we all moved out here to Bali, and then it was just a matter of, so what BlackKidsTravel stands for is about being the black sheep of the family. And then, you know, as a black sheep, you know, definitely want other people who ever felt odd, weird, unheard, unseen to actually know that now it's our time, you know. And we don't wait for anything. We don't, you know, we're not looking for handouts or anything. It's like, well, we definitely feel worthy and deserving of like the things that we feel inside, you know. And I think that the goal is to make sure that the outside looks like how we feel on the inside. And we all have different perspectives, but for me, BlackKidsTravel means that, of course, I am an African representing man that still is a child in this world, and I'm traveling. I'm not only traveling externally, I'm also traveling, you know, internally. So that's, I guess, the best way I could put it.
Beautiful. I kind of got it totally wrong. I thought it was like, you know, you're representing the movement and the ease of traveling around the world, where you pinpoint great places to be, great places to see, where one can feel super comfortable.
Yeah.
But obviously, I kind of got it wrong. So
No,
apologies.
it's actually all right. I guess it's, and also, like, you know, as educated, you know, we're looking to self-educate ourselves as much as possible that we can problem solve. You know, I think our most people will see this and ask us, what are you guys doing? What are you up to? But you know, we don't never have a specific right answer for anybody. I think it's just a matter of us figuring it out. You know, we came here and saw some problems and felt it was our responsibility to do what we can. And then, as still us coming from where we come from, everybody has problems, you know, so we're just looking to take responsibility individually to see about how we can, as well as, you know, being cool and enjoying life as to being like, yo, this is the byproduct, but also like sharing with people, like, you know, through traveling, you'll see these problems. And when you see these problems, you know, you see, well, what can I do to help? Whether it be like, you know, through videography, sharing information, or actually, you know, working with children, or whatever you can do. You know, every little bit goes a long way. So I know me and my team have also deemed ourselves as an advancement and innovative company. So, but yeah, that's my heart. So.
Beautiful. Cheers to innovation.
Absolutely.
And Sunny, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And how can people connect with you?
It's a great question. Right now, I think social mediums are the best. You know, if you just type in Sunny Dilinger, Sunny as the sun, Dillinger, Dilinger, so no two L's.
Right. Of course not.
Yeah. There's of course, the Dillinger, right? Would be,
the very famous Dillinger.
definitely wanted to make it more unique, where it's not like associated with the past. But yeah, if you reach out to me, I love connecting with people. I love it, and so that's a passion of mine. If you reach out to me, I'm very reachable.
Beautiful. Well, basically, thank you so much for coming to Double Espresso Studios and being part of Significant, which is about your experiences, influences, and dreams and dramas of everyone's life. So thank you for being significant.
Thank you, Espresso Studios.
Yeah.
And yeah, hope more to come.
Absolutely. Thank you. A pleasure.